kansascitymobile.com.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centric news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time, and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
I'll never forget. I was driving my Sienna from Rudy Luther Toyota, and I was hit at 35 miles an hour, rear-ended square flush. If not for the structural integrity of my Sienna, I wouldn't be here right now. There's a lot I can say about Rudy Luther Toyota, about their fantastic service department and their great selection, but being able to say your car saved my life is the best endorsement I can make. Toyotas from Rudy Luther Toyota are my highest recommendation. Get one today and tell them me, Matt McNeil, told you to stop on in. Rudy Luther Toyota, 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
What does it mean to begin? Creation Story explores Native origin stories through powerful contemporary art, connecting past and present with every brushstroke in sculpture. Explore how identity, culture, and resilience are shaped through art. Creation Story, now at All My Relations Arts through July 26th. This exhibition invites you to the heart of the Ochate-Shikowin storytelling, where spiritual relatives guide the way. Open to all. Learn more at allmyrelationsarts.org. Experience the beginning. Experience Creation Story at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clear with a low of 56, then a chance of rain on Friday with a high of 75. Spend your summer with some of the hottest musical acts around at Crooner's Supper Club in Fridley. Crooner's is located just north of I-694 off Highway 65 and Moore Lake Drive. Visit croonersmn.com to view their schedules and food menus.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. We have our friend Robert Lilligren starting out right away with us here from the Native American Community Development Institute, and what a beautiful day here, Robert. Thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, bonjour, Robert. Always good to be with you. It is a beautiful day. I just biked back from the office, and it's a perfect biking day. Not too hot, not too windy, sunny.
Yeah, I was at the market today, and it was beautiful.
I know. I just missed you there.
Yeah, it's great to see community and be involved in such a perfect day here. I love having you on, and we talk about positive things and things that are happening around the community. I would like to start out, before we dig deep, what's happening at NACDI right now, and what's happening basically with your organization, but also, what you guys support. And I'd like to start it out in a good, positive way today.
I love it. Thanks for asking. Well, the market was today, of course, Four Sisters Farmers Market. Perfect day for it. And it was a good day. Our market was Health Day, Wellness Day. So a lot of emphasis on that with the exhibitors and the trainings and things and the people tabling. Also, as part of our food sovereignty work, we have our urban farm, Four Sisters Urban Farm. And this is I think week 3 of our internship program. And these young people, these interns are just so engaged. They love learning. They went up to Sharon Day's property for a field trip, and she, put them to work, which is good, and also taught them a lot. And so that it feels so good, right? And then another thing that's coming up at All My Relations Arts, make sure you see Creation Story. It's closing very soon. And but also we have an open call for filmmakers, and All My Relations Arts is going to hold its first short film screening this summer. And so there is a call for submissions. The call closes August 3rd at midnight. And if folks go to the All My Relations Arts Facebook page, they can click through to the applications. But there's already been a really good response, Robert. I will tell you that. And it should be good. It should be really good. So please, all native filmmakers who can hear me, please go to the.
Oops, we just lost Robert somehow. Sometimes that happens when you hit the delete button instead accidentally, but we're sure he'll jump right back on here in a moment or so. Very interesting. I think art is healing, and film is art, and that's just great. So, Robert, I think you might have accidentally touched a.
I didn't touch anything. My hands are clean. If you don't want me here, Robert, you can just say.
Well, I can't do this show without you. I'm the king of ums. I had about 10 ums in there while you were gone.
So the open call for filmmakers, and then another thing that's a big deal for us is we're going to remodel our offices. And you know how tiny our office is, and we have maybe 12 people working out of a space about the size of an average bedroom, maybe. And we're occupying the basement. We're going to remodel that, have a lot nicer space, more professional space. So that's starting August 1st. So the gallery's closed. The Creation Story show comes down. We're kind of shifting some workspace over there, but more storage space. So we'll be kind of remote. So I won't be seeing you. I mean, the market will still go on, of course. All of our programming, our Make Voting a Tradition, will still be staged out of the building. But big changes coming to NACDI. That whole first floor that you're used to seeing as our office will become conference and meeting space.
Wow. I was hoping that you'd put a second floor in there.
I would love to do that. So just a little story about our building. We purchased it with our partner, American Indian Community Development Corporation. We co-own the building, and we bought it, maybe 12 years ago now, to be a redevelopment site, right? And to somehow, the idea originally, the thinking was to demolish it and put up something big, taller, newer, more in accordance with the vision of the American Indian Cultural Corridor. And then, the economy collapsed in the 2000s. We had a downturn again. So that goalpost of redeveloping the building keeps getting moved further and further out. But putting another floor on top of it has been an idea in the mix, but we'll see. But we just have some immediate space needs. We're so crammed in there, we can't really even work. So we're going to do this for now, and then engage the community and figure out what we should put there. But here's one of the things, Robert, is in this interim, our little yellow building that houses Powell Grounds Coffee Shop, All My Relations Arts Gallery, and our offices has become kind of iconic on the American Indian Cultural Corridor. And, we during the George Floyd's uprising, we staged the Protectors out of there. We just turned our whole building actually over to the Protectors, and it gets used, right? And stages from there. The Indigenous Protectors Movement stages from there. So I almost feel like it might be better for us to keep the little yellow building and to find another building on the American Indian Cultural Corridor.
Well, you mentioned that too. I remember when COVID first hit and nobody knew what was going on when it comes to food and helping people. There was no vaccine. You guys really stepped up. We brought food there and for the community, and it was in money, and
It was
just because it was crazy.
It was crazy. I mean, it was crazy because nobody knew what was going on. But we were such food deserts here, right? And then with George Floyd uprising, even more access to food was limited. And so we converted our gallery into we called it a pop-up food shop, but it was really like a grocery store, right? We took all the art down. It actually stored right here in this room for several months, the art. And we had the woman who is now our director of administration, Angel Swan, put together this program. It was COVID, so you had to have all these protocols in place. But yeah, for several months, it was like a grocery store in there. It smelled like a grocery store. One of the craziest parts, people contributed food like crazy, but the people contributed things like big reach-in coolers and freezers and things like that. That then we were able to repurpose into the community once the food shelf was shut down. And during the George Floyd uprising, after George Floyd was murdered, I really expected our building to burn, right? Things were burning all over the place, right in our vicinity, but our community stepped up and protected our people, protected our assets, and protected our non-native neighbors and their assets, right? There's almost no damage on East Franklin, the American Indian Cultural Corridor, because we organized protectors. And the Franklin protectors stayed right out of our parking lot. But I remembered as we were kind of shutting the building down, we decided not to board it up. I thought it was going to burn. We were in the middle of the audit, so one of our staff came and took all of our audit papers to protect those. And they're standing in the middle of the office. And I'm like, what do you take? What do you save? And so the only thing I could think of was a honor blanket that had been presented to me that was hanging in the office. That was presented to me when I left the city council. I thought that I can't replace that, right? So that's the only thing I took.
Wow. And that wasn't that long ago, Robert. And that's amazing talking about this, because it does seem like a while ago. But hey, we're here with Robert Lilligren, CEO of Native American Community Development here in the Twin Cities, and we'll be right back.
Your heart beats for generations. Take care of it.
There's a lot that we can do to take care of ourselves. And so I think it's important to take the smaller steps and break it down into more manageable pieces, because the little steps leads to big changes.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. For Indigenous women, taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Let's protect that story. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The easy all-in-one plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus many extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
What does it mean to begin? Creation Story explores Native origin stories through powerful contemporary art, connecting past and present with every brushstroke in sculpture. Explore how identity, culture, and resilience are shaped through art. Creation Story, now at All My Relations Arts through July 26th. This exhibition invites you to the heart of the Ochate-Shikowin storytelling, where spiritual relatives guide the way. Open to all. Learn more at allmyrelationsarts.org. Experience the beginning. Experience Creation Story at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Here I am with Robert Lilligren, CEO of Native American Community Development Institute here in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, and we were kind of reminiscing about a couple things, but you kind of were really struck me because of the George Floyd murder and what happened and how we were protecting our area, and there was bad actors coming from all over the state and other states to burn down our city.
Right. You forget, how weird it was. And there are all these reports on social media and stuff of, cars being filled with oil-soaked rags that were going to be set on fire. People were finding piles of firewood that was drenched in kerosene or gasoline. I mean, you had to be really aware. And people throughout the city organized to keep themselves safe. I mean, some of the stories that you heard about. Remember this once or so, it was late at night. It was maybe 2 a.m. It was hard to sleep during all that because of the noise and just the tension.
The helicopters.
Constant helicopters. And I was out on my patio, my terrace, which is up a hill kind of. And so there's a main street down below us, Franklin Avenue. And some guy came walking down the street, not anybody I recognized, and he had kind of a look of a protester, and maybe a little bit of an anarchist. And he had his big knapsack and he was walking his dog, his skinny dog, and he stopped right below my building, and the trees were blocking, so I couldn't really see what he was doing. And he's messing around with something. I can hear this crinkling and stuff. And I thought, oh no, he's going to light my building on fire. That's the first thing that I thought, So I'm just like, okay, watching, expecting to see a spark at any moment. And then a minute or so goes by and I see him bend down. So he went below the tree line and he picked up his dog's poop and put it in a little bag, so he was just out walking his dog. Okay, if he's picking up dog poop, he's probably not going to light my building on fire. But for me, it was really an illustration of how it just made us distrust everyone, right? A stranger walking down the street at 2 a.m. has to be up to something bad, right? And I didn't like that. I didn't like that feeling.
Well, I remember too, and I don't want to get too deep into this, but I remember too that there was videos out there of people wearing masks, white people coming in and destroying the auto mart and with a hammer, and people are going, "What are you doing?" And then the pharmacies in the area where the Walgreens, Greens were burned down, and it's like we didn't do that to ourselves.
Liquor stores burned down. Yeah, with the Native protectors got these kids like teenagers that broke into a liquor store on Franklin, and they made the kids stay there while they called their parents who came from some suburb, not from this community, and they made them wait for their parents to come and pick them up, and I thought that was spot on.
Yeah, that was awesome. But again, Native American Community Development Institute was right in the middle of all this, supporting the protection of Franklin Avenue and our relatives, and supporting the people that were out there.
Yeah, and we gave over our building and our parking lot and everything. Our conference room was like a medical warehouse. I mean, it was really quite an operation, but we didn't really do that much. It was AIM, American Indian Movement. It was the Indigenous Protectors. It was Mike Gozy and his crew at American Indian Community Development Corporation. Yeah. But we were able to do a few things. Like we had a curfew, right? We had a curfew. Right. And so that was an impediment to doing protectors work. So we're able to work directly with the mayor and get a system of sort of curfew waivers that we could give our folks. And so we negotiated, they had to have a identifying T-shirt. They had to have some other things, but so we could do stuff like that. But really, it was the community. The tribes really stepped up and sent people down. People came down from the reservations, and it was really an operation. There was a fire going in our parking lot 24/7, a spirit fire. They were cooking food on a grill, around the clock, and so it was really a community effort.
Well, it was amazing too for me being about 3 miles away in St. Paul. We had a Super America burned down. We weren't even close to the area, so there was bad actors all around.
Right.
And one of the things that I had a young warrior on the show last Friday, a bear Vin, and he was young, and he remembers when he was living in Little Earth and how people were heading right towards Little Earth and looking like they were going to burn it down, and they stopped them.
Yep, Little Earth stopped a couple. They stopped the National Guard at
That's
Little
right.
Earth. And yeah, those Little Earth folks, man, they will protect their land, and I appreciate that. And there was one night, protesters were kind of coming towards Little Earth, and so the National Guard was kind of coming towards Little Earth. Little Earth, for folks who don't know, is a urban community right here. It's really the heart of the residential Native community in Minneapolis. And I was watching the live feed, from the Little Earth protectors. And so I had a leader from Little Earth on one phone, and I had our lieutenant governor on another phone. And I'm like, you guys, someone's going to get shot. I thought for sure someone's going to die here. And that's what happens, right? When there are these militaristic responses. And so there's kind of this standoff, and this amazing thing happened, Robert. The National Guard retreated. They stopped and retreated. And, hats off to the Little Earth protectors for what they did for their community. And I've always wanted to know who gave that order. Somebody had to give them an order to retreat, because I don't think they just would. And so I've never been able to find out, but I would love to know. And there was a lot of actions like that where our community just behaved so incredibly well. Division of Indian Works building, when it was threatened, and the National Guard was marching down East Lake Street, and there was a bunch of protectors circling that building. And I'll never forget watching this feed where the protectors were so disciplined and so well trained. So you had these armed soldiers, National Guard, marching on them. And all of the protectors at pretty much in unison put their hands on top of their heads and stood like this. I thought it was amazing discipline. It really was our community at its best.
Yeah, you're not kidding. And I'm glad you brought that up, because it really talks about what we always talk about here is our resilience, and to take action and support each other when it's dark out, when it's getting dark. And it's getting dark now too, with in a lot of different ways. And we're the resistant experts. I really feel terrible about what happened with public broadcasting, because that's going to trickle down to tribal stations across the country, and the support. And I know Native Roots Radio gets some support from NPR too, and we do Little Moments count once a month.
Yeah, it's so painful. How can a majority of federal legislators think that's a good idea? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's, if you take offense at their programming, then, well, I don't know why you would take offense at their programming, and it's so valuable to so many people. So we'll get through this, I'm convinced, but it's going to be painful.
Right. And I guess, too, I'd like to start talking about how we're going to turn this around, because it's really one of those things where, I haven't done much door knocking for politicians, but I think it's time. And I think it's time to do things like that and really get out there and talk to people about really what's really going on.
Right. Nope, that's exactly right. And so, it's the midterm elections next year. I think it's all hands on deck, right? And in communities like ours, we know where the vote's going to go, but it's going out to other communities, supporting people in other places. And, we're fortunate at NACDI to have Make Voting a Tradition program. And that's really extending out across the state up into the rural communities, the reservation communities. But you hit the nail on the head, Robert, when you said talk to people. And, this is what we learned, a few years ago now, 10, 12 years ago, but when we had an anti-marriage amendment, constitutional amendment on the ballot here, and Minnesota became kind of a testing ground for a different approach. And these constitutional amendments had passed in like over half the states. And it had always been framed as a civil rights issue, which clearly wasn't landing with people, wasn't resonating with voters. And so tons of research, tons of strategy. And the approach was having courageous conversations, changing hearts and minds with your friends, your families, your neighbors, your coworkers. There was a huge campaign, if you remember, where we trained people to do that, how to have this difficult conversation. There was a lot of theater involved in kind of showing people how to do it, a lot of arts and stuff. And by gum, it worked.
Yeah, and we got to go back to that, Robert. Hey, I always appreciate you coming on and talking to us and talking to all the people that listen to Native Roots Radio. It's really our pleasure.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me. Miigwech.
Hey, we'll see you next week. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. Up next, Bob Blake from Red Lake.
Hi, I'm Scott Shamblot from Shamblot Family Dentistry. We're the fear-free, shame-free dental office. If you're having a dental emergency, we'll try and get you in the same day you call because we don't like to see anyone in pain. And we'll help you get through every appointment in the most pain-free way possible. As my daughter Rachel says,
if you don't see my dad, please see another dentist. Take care of your teeth because they're the only ones you get.
Shamblot Family Dentistry in Hopkins and St. Paul. Find them online at shamblotfamilydentistry.com or call 1-800-FIX-MY-TEETH.
The Zero Res Master Certified Area Rug Cleaning Team in St. Louis Park is having the biggest cleaning sale of the year. Clean one rug and get 20% off. 2 rugs, 25% off. 3 area rugs get 50% off your area rug cleaning purchase. Pickup and delivery options are available. We're getting into the heat of the summer. You're going to be having barbecues, friends and family over at your house. Your rug call that's tired of being stomped on, spilled on, sneezed on, and ignored like a salad at a barbecue. We treat your rugs gently, even the fancy ones you bought on vacation and immediately regretted. Wool, synthetic, braided, patterned, passed down from grandma. If it lays flat and collects dirt, we clean it. Schedule your appointment at zeroresminnesota.com or call 9520-RES and ask for the AM 950 special. Spell it backward or forward spells the same. It still spells, dang, that rug looks good. Zero Res.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces is having its annual store-wide sale. For the entire month of July, all of our indoor and outdoor fireplace products and accessories are at their lowest price of the year. At Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, we display, explain, and install the Twin Cities' most diverse selection of indoor and outdoor stoves and fireplaces, including metal and masonry pizza ovens.
While shopping for a fireplace insert at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, I was amazed at all the choices. Not just gas, electric, or wood burning, but also built-in or freestanding, and options in every style from antique to modern. The staff listened to us, explained the options, and helped us choose a fireplace we love. Now it warms our hearts and our home every winter. Thank you, Woodland Stoves, for a great addition.
Come see us. We have over 35 working displays in our store, which is just off I-94 at the corner of Riverside and East Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, since 1977, out of the ordinary products and services to make fire work for you.
Cafe Latte offers made-from-scratch soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. So come check out their pizza and wine bar, or get a treat from the bakery made fresh daily. Plus, you can still do online ordering and takeout, along with gift cards. Just go to cafelatte.com and choose from their ever-changing selection of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups. Cafe Latte is located off Victoria and Grand and online at cafelatte.com.
Peace Peace of mind shouldn't cost a fortune. We keep things simple at Schroman Law because we believe planning for your estate and end-of-life care shouldn't be stressful or expensive. Every client relationship starts with a free consultation so clients have the information they need before making important decisions. From there, we work closely with clients to ensure they are choosing the most efficient and cost-effective plans for their specific needs. Schedule a free consultation today at schromenlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clear with a low of 56, then a chance of rain on Friday with a high of 75. Comedian Jessica Kirsten hits the Uptown Theater on Sunday night, November 23rd. You won't want to miss one of the top comics in America for one night only. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm here with Robert Blake, the SolarBear with the Solar News, and also the CEO of Native Sun, the nonprofit. Great to see you, Robert. Thank you so much for coming on, as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Robert. There's a lot going on in the energy news right now.
Well, let's rock and roll. Take it away.
Yeah, so Robert, right now, there is a push by this administration to keep coal plants running. So this is a big story right now. The Department of Energy's emergency stay open orders for aging fossil fuel plants are forcing unexpected costs onto the utility customers. So this administration wants to keep these coal plants open. And what it's going to do, Robert, is it's going to basically jack up everyone's electricity bills, because this administration wants to be able to put money in the pockets of their buddies.
Yep.
And this is, I don't know what the other side is thinking. I don't know what their voting side is thinking, but I don't know how more evident this can be, Robert, of simple, just cronyism.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
And so he's keeping these smokestacks, these coal plants firing, when there are clearly renewable energy sources that have been built or being built to take its place. And it's going to cost the ratepayers millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're keeping an eye on things. This is insanity 101.
Yeah, it really is insanity 101. And so there are memos coming down from this administration to these different government agencies, and one of them came down to the United States Department of Agriculture, and they had an energy grant application window for folks to apply for, and they abruptly just canceled it, canceled it. And so now, these people that applied for this grant, obviously aren't going to get it, but it just closed on them. And so these are usually communities across the country that, are looking for ways to fight, climate, energy poverty, to just get their communities resilient for climate change. We all just seen that horrible flood that just came through that small Texas town just recently.
Yeah.
And so these are what these grants go out to, like, help these communities deal with. And this administration just canceled all these grants, or told this government agency, the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, to cancel these energy grants. It's just terrible. It canceled the application window.
Jeez. Well, I'm glad you're on top of things and let our audience know about how insane this is, and to give people more information, because of the 24-hour news cycle, we need to be talking about this constantly over and over again, Robert.
I agree, Robert. Another one here, the world, the rest of the world, Robert, this is mind blowing, Robert. The rest of the world, it says here, is investing more in clean energy, $2.2 trillion around the world. Not the United States, Robert, not the United States.
Right.
The rest of the world is investing over $2.2 trillion into clean energy and electrification projects this year.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the United States is just falling farther and farther behind because of this administration. And Robert, I want to make this point out to all the viewers right now that clean energy is like the basis of world leadership. The reason why we were able to, lead the world the last 100 years, and we were able to afford this beautiful lifestyle that we have in America, is because we had cheap energy. Cheap energy leads to world leadership, leads to world dominance, leads to economic independence, leads the world economies, and that's what the rest of the world has figured out.
Yeah,
because we have an administration that gets bought out by special interest, specifically the fossil fuel industry. We are going to fall behind because our politicians, unfortunately, are being bought and paid for.
Exactly. Just drill baby. I mean, that's something that you might have heard in the 60s. Now he's brought it back in a terrible, terrible way.
And I hope this happens, Robert. I really hope this happens. But critics fear Trump will use a Department of Energy report to push pro-coal agenda.
Jeez.
Yeah. The Department of Energy has whipped themselves up a pro-coal report, and they're afraid that President Trump is gonna use this in his campaigns. And I'll tell you what, Robert, I hope he does, because it's all lies. It's all misinformation. And I mean, I'm sorry, Democratic Party, if there was ever a time, Robert.
Exactly.
If there was ever a time we needed you, this is it.
Well, and also mainstream media that doesn't report this and has normalized this rapist, felon convicted person. I just, thank goodness you're here, and we're on all these progressive stations across the country. Thank you, for bringing the report and bringing real news up.
Yeah, and Robert, I just cannot believe. I mean, this is like what we would call a walk-off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A walk-off home run. Like, literally, this is a walk-off home run. This is like the defense going and just sitting down and saying, offense, go do what you got to do. So I'm telling you, if we can't take advantage of this moment, of this time, I'm sorry to say, people, we probably deserve what we get.
Right. Well, and then the things that we talked about in the last few days with the Epstein list and all these things that he ran on fixing the economy and lower prices the first 90 days and getting us out of the wars, and he's just done the opposite and is destroying the economy. So either one, he can become a hero and build it back up, or just take it over.
Yeah, and I just feel kind of like, and this would be my plea to Ken Martin, right, for the Democratic National Party, right? Ken, I totally get the corporate Democrats. We gotta appease them, and I totally agree. But right now, we've got to go the exact opposite. We got to get over to the Bernie, to the AOC side, probably to the David Hogue, from the Parkland shooting, that kid. We got to get over to their team right now, because I'm telling you, if we're going to win this back, that's where I think this country wants to go. And I don't think it's, back to the, centerpiece, where the corporate Democrats live. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know if that's where we need to go. I think we just need to go straight on with those guys get on their backs, and let's bring it on home for the home team. You know what I mean? Bring on the win for the home team.
Well, and not only that, Bob, but let's bring the truth and the reality of it, and not worry about mincing words with the what has been called the limousine liberals. I think we need to bring the new breed in, the people that are seeing this. I know we talk about the other younger generation, and we always talk about the seventh generation as being native, but younger generation knows that they're not going to get the same perks that we did. They're not going to be able to buy homes, and they already aren't being able to buy homes. We got a new owner of the Timberwolves, who his big claim to fame not only was steroids in baseball, but he owns $150,000 doorknobs. And you know what that means? He owns all these houses, and that's what's going on with the economy of trying to buy a house. They just ramped up the price of homes.
Well, Robert, that I was bringing that up when I was running for city council.
Right.
I remember talking about that, and people were like, "No, it's just supply and demand." I'm like, "No, it's a little different than that. It's corporations, it's investment firms buying up these homes and artificially controlling the price of home values in said city." And that's why I was totally against it when I was running for public office. And I said, let Minneapolis have that trash. Let Minneapolis have those problems. And St. Paul, let's continue to provide and be able to allow families to raise their kids and families there. And that cuts down on crime. That cuts down on all kinds of other bad things that happen when families are here raising their families. And, I said, that's where St. Paul's got to be. And another thing to that too, Robert, our arguments, are going to be, if we go way to the right with these guys, it's going to be, they're never going to be happy. If we go to the left, they're never going to be happy. So, I think we just got to be like what Bernie and AOC are saying, and just present our argument and let's just go for it. You know what I mean? Forget all the rest and try to please everybody. And that's my point to Ken Martin, right? Forget about everything we're trying to please. We can't please everybody. Let's just give them our argument and let's just go for it, because where these people are at right now are literally off the United States of America. They are literally not on this island with us.
Absolutely. And we saw what happened last time, but I hope that people have a good memory about what's happening, because one of the things they did in that big, beautiful, crappy bill was that they made it staggered, these things that are going to hurt poor people and BIPOC people, and they staggered it out a couple of years. So if the Democrats do get running the things, they'll get blamed for these things that were in this big, beautiful, ugly bill.
Well, I love what Stacey Abrams did, where she basically broke it down. You know what I mean? This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to cause chaos, mass confusion. They're trying to get civil unrest so they can implement their, military state. You know what I mean? And I just believe all that is happening right now, Robert. And we got to stand together and stay together. And everything's going to work out if we keep the faith.
Is that the update here from SolarBear?
That is the solar news with the SolarBear.
Thank you, Bob Blake from Red Lake. I just had to say that one more time.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Rudy Luther Toyota is the dealer you can trust. Go to rudyluthertoyota.com to browse their inventory of new and certified pre-owned vehicles. Style, performance, and reliability, you can find it all at Rudy Luther. With every new and certified pre-owned vehicle, you'll get a Luther Advantage card, save 10 cents per gallon at the pump, and get $6 Works car washes at Holiday Station stores. That's right, you can get a great vehicle and help stretch your budget even further. Rudy Luther Toyota, the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time. and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NACDI. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting NACDI.org.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
In this portion of the show, we like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunts.
No. Hey, that's a good one. Hey, I want to introduce my awesome and beautiful wife, Wendy. Wendy has been an animal advocate for many years, and she's a co-founder of Native Roots Radio, which we've been getting Native our relatives updates here for over 9 years, Wendy.
Woo! Hey, everybody. My name is Hanajihi Hani. That means cares for them. I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, formerly known as the Humane Society of the United States. And we work on animal issues at the local and state level. It's always my pleasure to do that. So I was out shopping. I was out shopping a couple of weeks ago.
What?
Yeah, and I went to this little tchotchke store.
What does that mean?
Tchotchke. Tchotchke is a slang word. I think it's Yiddish.
Oh.
Tchotchke. It means like little things or novelty items. So it's
like little, my little salt and pepper.
Little tchotchke things, like little knickknacks.
Yeah,
really.
Knickknacks, yeah.
But anyway, I went on Grand Avenue here in St. Paul to a place called Good Things. That's the name of the store. It's called Good Things. And it has a lot of things. It has like women's clothes in it. It has like jewelry. It's household items, but like nice things that you would go into that store to buy a gift for somebody. They have cards and stuff. But Robert, I found this really cute, excuse me, I just have to clear my throat. A really cute little bracelet. Now I was shopping for little birthday gifts for our daughters. Usually give them some money, but I like to pick them up a little something.
Yeah.
But anyway, I saw this cute thing. It was a bracelet with a little giraffe on it. But not only that, but they had all different kinds of these little bracelets. They kind of like stretch onto your wrist. They're kind of made of beads, and then they have like a little animal on it. So I picked the giraffe because I like giraffes.
Aww.
Yeah, but they have all kinds of little animals. And the weird and the fun thing about this, I'm going to give you the name of it. It's called Phalo, Fahlo. That's the company that makes these bracelets.
Mm-hmm.
But each bracelet tracks the animal that's on the bracelet.
Wow.
Yeah. So you open up the paper after you buy the bracelet. It was really inexpensive too. The bracelet was like $16.95, right?
Wow.
For a really cute little bracelet. And then you open up the little packet and it gives you a QR code to scan.
Mm-hmm.
Now you download the free app and I get to track my specific giraffe. So I'm online right now tracking my giraffe. My giraffe has a name.
Oh.
Yes, my giraffe's name is Fazio, Fawsio, and it's a Somalian name meaning survivor.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, these animals are tagged and then they're tracked for conservation. Right.
Oh.
So we're watching for environmental changes, habitat changes. They're watching for poachers. Right.
Good.
really watching this animal, and they could track it. So I go online and I'm looking at my giraffe, my specific giraffe called Fowsio, Fowsio. Yeah. Anyway, he's in Africa. So on the east coast of Africa, near Kenya, and I could see the satellite view of exactly where this
crazy.
animal is right now. And then as you zoom in, it tracks the animal and tells you like how far it went, where is it going, all these things. It's like so interesting.
That's
now
crazy.
I believe that you can go on and get this app for free. Again, the app is called Follow, Fahlo, F like Frank, Ahlo. And you go on, and I believe I just did this a little while ago, but I think that you could go on and track an animal that you're interested in. So yeah, see, now it says I could track another animal. I could track another giraffe if I want, but I think I'd have to like pay a little bit of money for that. But I just think it's like so interesting. And I was reading about it a little bit, and they said that the tracking is delayed. So like when I went on tonight, it said the last time it saw my giraffe was on July 13th. Right, today's the 17th, and you know why they do that?
Why? Oh, I do know. Go ahead.
Why? Go ahead. Tell me what you think.
So poachers can't track them.
That's right. So poachers can't track the animal. You're absolutely right. Or if there's somebody who's a poacher, right, and they go on to find this app, they can get the other, they could find the giraffe. Isn't that unbelievable? So yeah, it's delayed like 3 days.
That's cool.
Yeah. So then they say most of these trackers last for 2 to 3 years, right? If something happens to the animal dies, they'll give you another animal to track.
With the same purchase?
Yeah.
Wow.
The same purchase. Yeah.
Wow.
And then usually if you don't see anything for about 3 months, it usually means something could have happened to the device that's on the animal, right?
It fell off.
It fell off or something. Or sometimes these animals go into such remote areas of the jungle that the satellite can't even find them. So sometimes, if you go on a daily basis, you could see where the animal is, but the animal, 3 days ago might have been in a really remote place and the satellite couldn't, find it.
Wow.
But for what is this? $17, $16.95. It's a really cute little gift. I can't remember what animal I got Jelaine. Do you remember what animal I got her?
No, but she said
I remember what I got her. And I know why I got it for her. It just came to me. I'm such an idiot. I got her a turtle, a sea turtle. Because I remember when her and her husband went to, I can't remember where they went in the Caribbean somewhere.
Isn't that our son-in-law?
Our son-in-law. Yeah. Who did I say?
You said her
Our
husband.
Yeah. My son, our son-in-law. Oh my God. Anyway, they went somewhere, and she said the favorite part of her trip was they went to see the release of all these baby turtles and these turtles that were in a rehabilitation
that is so
place,
cool.
right? So she said, I just love seeing the turtles, and we watched them, and they went down the beach, and there were all these people on each side of the turtles making sure they got into the water safely.
Cool.
So I got her a turtle bracelet.
Nice.
I'll have to ask her tomorrow when I see her if she, got the barcode and scanned it and stuff. And it's really easy. I mean, anybody could do it. But they had like a sloth, they had a tiger, they had like all kinds of animals.
Which one would you pick for me?
Oh, what would I pick for you? Oh my gosh. What kind of
sloth?
The sloth? Because you're slow?
What?
It's an inside joke with Robert and I, because I'm from New York, so everything happens fast and we're loud and it's a lot. And then when I met Robert, he was like so calm and peaceful and slow. So I remember my mom was asking me, well, tell me about him. So I was like, well, he's the St. Paul guy. He's like really nice and he's kind and he's slow. And I said, he's just sounding kind of like slow. So anyway, maybe I'd get you I would get you a sloth, but they had all kinds of animals. And I just think it's like a really fun thing. I mean, it's a fun thing for even kids, you know. Maybe I should get one for Renzo and Olivia. They would probably like it.
I think it would be cool if Native Roots Trading Post could hook up with an organization like this. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I could see, I could look this up and see if there's anything like we could reach them.
Yeah.
Or look them
or
up.
start our own.
Yeah, each bracelet tracks the animal, and it's really, you learn your giraffe's name, the story, their family, you follow them, incredible track on their exclusive tracking map. Yeah, and it's in partnership with the Somali Giraffe Project. So that's
Cool.
where my giraffe came with.
Awesome. Hey, Big Peeny Gigi. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you are part of the resistance. From Chief Plenty Coops, the ground on which we stand on is sacred ground. We'll see you next week.